Check, check. Betty had a bit of butter and a wrist shot from Sears. Okay, check, check. Alrighty, welcome one and all to the 1932 rink in the Jack Shea Arena in Lake Placid, New York. As we are behind the scenes just ahead of the Stanstead College varsity and Northwood School girls teams in this JWHL tournament weekend. This one is scheduled for a 5:20 puck drop. We may be ahead of schedule. And so we'll be tidying things up, dotting the I's and crossing the T's pregame. We'll visit the Stanstead folks, make sure everybody knows where the broadcast is. And then we'll go through some pronunciations on the rosters.
That's a great question. I forgot here.
And so we're going to step away for a short bit. Okay, so it would be good here as we're going to step away and get the rest of the administrative work all taken care of. I want to thank Eric on the back end so much for helping me get things dialed in ahead of our double shot of Friday evening games. Both Northwood games, the Northwood girls U19 team hosting Stanstead, and then the boys as they will host Upper Canada College coming up shortly. Oh, wow. That's all I have to say as I welcome you, one and all, to the Jack Shea Arena, the 1932 rink in Lake Placid, New York, as we get set for an exciting Friday evening matchup in the Junior Women's Hockey League. High intensity hockey action here, as we've got Stanstead facing off in the white and red versus the hometown pinked out Northwood School Huskies girls U19. Folks, my name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. So good to be here. So glad you'd have me here. Let's go ahead and get you an introduction to the teams at play in this evening's matchup, as we'll run down the visiting Stanstead College girls hockey varsity team. They are from tip to tail Sharp, Zhu, Tremblay, Zonin. Now there'll be a couple of names in here that won't be present in today's game. We still want to go down the roster and acknowledge them. Tremblay, I believe, not playing today. Zonin, interesting story there. We'll touch base on that in a moment. Labrèche, Chenier, Lavoie, Mazolai, Aubin, Caides, Lintner, Grenon, Barbosa, Thum, Pampelon, Charlon, Laforge, Labonte, Stringer, Harnum, and D'Alessandro. And now we'll introduce you to the team in the darks with the pink numbers, as they are pinking it out tonight, winding down the last bit of the warm-up period. Starting with the forwards, and thanks to Trevor Gillian, head coach of the Northwood School U19 girls. The front line, Gillis, St. Pierre, and Kelly. Elbrecht with Hagens on the right and McLean on the left. Martin in the middle on the third line with Monette on the right, Erster on the left. And on the fourth line, centering Reese L'Esperance, and to her right, Sheeta, and left, Pratt. And for the back end, defenders, they are Barton and Griffiths, Major and Wright, Perry L'Esperance, and Combe, and Holmes. The goalies available, Tifo and Zuck. Tifo will get the start tonight. Folks, for those of you unfamiliar, we've got a chat board on the video player. I invite you to tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players, so that we can get you a shout out during the course of gameplay. Once again, my name's Glenn Burnett with your play-by-play and color commentary. Shout out to Wyatt down at the scorer's table, as he will be covering score, time, and announcements. And the Thunder prevails, as we are moments away. Goaltenders are ready, scorekeepers ready, we're ready. Let's play some Northwood School hockey. As Northwood starts out in the offensive zone off a weak side rebound. And a strong play in net, as we see Pampelon made the initial contact. Rebound went to the weak side and was able to react in time to stop this follow-up, as this is played up through neutral ice. Played in on net, and Tifo comes up with a stop, and on the rebound from the backdoor side, Stanstead opens up the scoring. Not long into this first period, and Stanstead College with the icebreaker. Now, for those of you who are looking for line and live scoring information, you can find that in the stats tab as this is played through neutral ice. This is picked up by Elbrecht. We caught Elbrecht in action yesterday or last week. She had opened up against the Rochester Junior Americans with back-to-back goals to start the scoring for Northwood. That was a victory for them last weekend. And we'll get a quick stoppage here. And so let's double check this here. That's Harnum in net for Stanstead. Made a very strong play with a wide open looking net as the Huskies were that close to opening up the scoring. And this is played into neutral ice as we see Combe out on the ice for the Huskies. Played around the back end of the net. Battling in the corner. We see Labonte out on the ice for Stanstead. And so that was Pampelon from Charlotte. Thanks so much again to Wyatt for the double announcement, as it is loud in here. Very difficult to hear anything other than the folks shouting for their team. As we see Wright up at the point for the Huskies, as this is played around the corner wall. Wright looking to hold the door closed at the line. Played down from the half wall. Diagonal pass as Major jumped it. Played from the half wall. From behind the net. And Stringer plays it out towards the wall. This is played by Toom. Cross ice pass as Kaitis gets it into the offensive zone. Kaitis chasing as that's carried by Griffiths. Avoiding the shove as this is played up on the right side. Griffiths flings it up around the corner wall. That'll go out towards the left wing corner. LaForge battling as it comes out from behind the net. Played up towards the half wall. Eased up ahead as Shu couldn't carry possession. And this is played up to the end wall. Just a handful of minutes into this first half. We've got 16:26 left in the period. As this is played around the corner wall, shot out towards the middle of the left faceoff circle. And this one's tossed out. Chased down by St. Pierre. St. Pierre, as we mentioned last weekend, committed to Colgate. That is my cousin Debbie's alma mater. And this is played deep into the Stanstead zone. Settled down by Defoe. Played up to Kelly. Centering pass. Couldn't hold on to it. St. Pierre out on the ice. As we see Lintner battling at the end wall. A little hip shove. No body checking, but you will see physicality as this one's stolen away. This is Kelly. One-on-one to the backhand, and a beautiful save as Harnum comes up big for Stanstead. The Stanstead crowd right behind the goaltender with rousing applause as this is played up to the half wall. We got a penalty coming here. We mentioned no body checking and that there would be physicality, but that one very evidently an infraction, the cross-checking variety. And so LaBreche will sit for 2, and Northwood, trailing 1-0, will look for the equalizer. Played up to the left point. Back up top. Rister, as we see Major in on the defensive set for the Huskies, as Tifo hands it off. Major pursued by Lintner. Laid up ahead. This is Wright. Wright works her way across the blue stripe on the left side. Played to the back door. And Kelly with a wrister deflected out towards the far side corner. Saucered down and around the rim. Picked up by Major. Major's got Wright. We see Elbrecht along with McLean. We're looking at Erster out on the ice right now. We would typically see Higgins out on the right wing side. Elbrecht with a wrister, and that one's gloved by Harnum. We've got a double shot of Huskies games right here on a 32 sheet this evening. All part of our Friday evening spotlight programming as this is held in from the right side. Elbrecht plays it away as we see Higgins out on the ice. This is played by Barton into the middle, and a little shift of the shape here. 25 seconds left in the power play. Reminder that that's LaBreche in the box for cross-checking. Played down low, dropped off in the corner. And now a little sub-goal line play here. Here's a wrister through traffic, and that's deflected as Stanstead catches a break. And now they're back to even strength as Barton chases it down. And LaBreche, hot on her tail, trying to pressure the puck away. Had a chance to say hi to Kush Sidhu, one of the co-founders of this Junior Women's Hockey League. Saw him earlier over by the Stanstead locker room door talking to some coaches. We will have his Washington Pride facing off against the Huskies for tomorrow's 8 a.m. matchup. As this is played into neutral ice, flung back up by Combe. And out comes Harnum. Handed off to LaForge and drop back off to Kaitis. Out to the left wing side. And this is Pampelon, credited with the icebreaker. The only goal thus far as this is dropped off to Combe. Played out to the half wall. Back down to Combe. Combe looking for options, plays it behind the net. And cycled back up. And now rushing in. This is St. Pierre, and St. Pierre loses an edge, crashing into the half wall, but very quickly back up to her skates. And this is played around to the near side. This is Labonte. Played out to neutral ice. And folks, in a moment, I'll check in on the chat board to see if anybody's tuned in, trying to get our shout outs. All righty, welcome back to the broadcast, Diane, as the Erster family is tuned in. Ryan Erster, number 4, a winger on my line chart for today. We've seen some shuffling around in some of the line configurations. Erster is partnered up with Monette and Martin. So we give a shout out to Whitestone, New York. As we see Griffiths dropping back. Stringer down through the mid slot. This is stolen away. Major, check that, McLean from the left wing side regains possession. Played up top to Griffiths. That'll be played off of the end wall. Strong skating out here. This is a very strong Stanstead program. I want to say thanks to their coaching staff, head coach Bernie Pym and assistant coach Matthew Chan, a 2016 Stanstead alum. We sent out some messages in preparation of this weekend, trying to get line charts and rosters and any kind of information to help get us up to speed with the teams involved in this weekend's tournament. And assistant coach Chan sent me a bunch of the above. Played from D to D as Thum sends it up ahead. And Stanstead will freshen up the backside. And so fresh skates up at the point. That'll be held in at the blue line. Good rotations around the way. This is rebounded into the mid slot, still popped around and then covered up. Still no whistle as it comes up to the hashes. A fadeaway wrister, and this is knocked away. And a big cheer coming from the Northwood fans as that was touch and go for a moment. Great opportunity for Stanstead as they apply the pressure. Labonte from the left wing side as this is picked up by Wright. Wright slipping it through the seam out to neutral ice. And this is Erster at the half wall. 8:38 remaining, first half action. Stanstead in white leading 1-0. Shots on goal 7-5 favoring Stanstead as that goes down for perhaps the lone icing of the half. That's a lot of well-played action out there on both sides. Now we said we'd come back to the Stanstead roster after going through all the names. There are a couple that are not here for tonight's game. But there's one on the roster that many Northwood Huskies may be familiar with. The last name Zonin. And any Huskies that would know Zonin would probably be thinking of the number 22 draft in the NHL this year. Overall, number 22 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, Bill Zonin, once skated for Coach Chad Cassidy here at Northwood. Younger sister, Keisha Zonin, number 9 for Stanstead. Played up to the right point. From D to D as that's disrupted. Well played by Pampelon, forcing the give up of the zone as this is played just alongside the benches. Now handed off. This is Aubin. Aubin with a wrister as that comes off of the high glass. A hard rebound back out towards the goal line. but things settle down. Played from the right circle. As we see Gillis out on the ice. Played through traffic. Sent around by Holmes. A little contact up at the blue line. And now here comes Kelly. Kelly veering out to the right side. Heavy pressure. That's Thum out on the ice for Stanstead. Working up on the left side. This is Zonin. Zonin wearing the number 9. Who's coming in from the left wing side. And now stepping in for the faceoff for Stanstead. That's Stringer. Played wide left, and now a backhand through traffic as this is picked up, and a nice lob. Well played as Perry L'Esperance decides to lob one, an off-speed wrister. It's very easy to think you get the puck and you have a look down through a crowded slot, you just whip it through. In this case, L'Esperance takes a little bit of speed off of it and lobs it in. As she catches Harnum covering down low, and we're all tied up with 6:38 remaining in the first. Northwood now on the board. As we see Hagens out on the right side opposite LaBreche. And McLean with a little shoulder rub out at the wall. A little D to D. And chipped up ahead. Centering pass into the slot, knocked away. And now 2-on-2 shaping up. This is Hagens feeding it to the back door, shot. And the collective awe from this heavily Northwood crowd. Beautiful play as that's held in the zone. That's Martin in the middle on the third line. And it is that loud here, folks. It is that loud. Played behind the net, a little shove as we see Erster out on the ice, and that'll be held on to by Harnum. Let's see if we can't tap into the live feed. As we see, that was a goal for Perry L'Esperance, assisted by McLean and Elbrecht. Played around to the half wall. We're just outside of 5 minutes remaining in the first. Played up on the left side, handed off, and now played down towards Aubin, but out of reach. Aubin trying to stir things up down in the bottom half. Some folks in the stands looking for a penalty there. None coming. Played around as Tifo holds it up. Fresh skates coming out on the ice for Stanstead as we see Kaitis out on the ice. Played back in as Barton drops back. That's Lintner looking for pressure. We see Pratt out on the ice for Northwood. This is played up by Zhu. Zhu with a shot deflected down to the end wall. Zhu with possession in the corner. Played off the back of the cage. Shots on goal, 10-9. Everything pretty evenly balanced here in this one. Played up to the low slot, ticked away. That'll be sent around by Wright out to the corner. Picked up by L'Esperance. That's the Reese variety. This is played down by Lavoie. As we see Combe coming in on the backside. Played all the way down. And that'll be just our second icing of the game. 3:20 remaining first period action. Glenn Burnett with your play-by-play and color commentary. So good to be here. So glad you'd have me here. We've got another one coming up on the docket for 7:30 start for the Northwood boys. They'll take on Upper Canada College. Played into the middle. This is Barbosa. Barbosa veering out to the left side, widening out. Tries to feed down to the low slot. Taken away by Combs. Combs sends it around the corner wall. Hagens out across to the left wing side. Elbrick trying to split the D as Hagens pressures. Held up in the corner. Combe up at the right point. It's McLean in the bumper position, mid-slot. McLean had a strong outing last weekend against the Junior Americans. Here's a wrister, and that'll be paddled away. Played down across the mid-slot, and here's Combe. She plays it off the end wall. Picked up by Lintner. Lintner centering pass from the weak side as that one came from the right wing side, rebounded out to the weak side. So that was Moseley and Lavoie combining from right to left, respectively. And this is played up to the end wall. Stanstead controlling. Saucered out to the right wing side. Working up on the right, that's Lintner. Dumps it in, and a wholesale change for Stanstead. You see assistant captain Monette out on the ice for the Huskies. Here's a wrister. A collective groan by the crowd. Played from the half wall. On the near side. And now Stanstead controlling it. Just as Major was trying to jump that pass, and we've got an offsides. 61 seconds remaining, first period action. Northwood 1, Stanstead 1. Stanstead opened up the scoring early on. Took a while, but Northwood able to balance things out. We're all tied up at one apiece. Play down to the end wall. That's right in the corner, along with St. Pierre. Played up to Kelly. And we got a stoppage of play, folks. And so it looks like Charland to the box. Played up top as Major sends it out to the left wing side. That'll be reclaimed by Kelly. Back up top around the horn to the right side. Back to Major, out to the left side as they compress the zone. So that was cross-checking on Charlon. Played into the middle. This is Wright working out on the right wing side. Not enough time left in the period, and so we'll carry that power play over to the second. At the end of one, as tight as ever, we're all tied up at one apiece with 80 seconds remaining on the Charlon penalty. A quick intermission here as both teams gather at their benches. We'll take a quick moment here. And share some color information provided by Stanstead's assistant coach, Matthew Chan. As he says, for this U19 group, the team is coming into the month of October after a very challenging September schedule. Started the season at Etobicoke Showcase in Mississauga, Ontario. That resulted in a 4-1-0 record. It was highlighted by a win over the #1 ranked in Canada, Etobicoke Junior Dolphins U22 team. In the weeks that followed, the team played against Quebec CEGEP schools, Limoilou, #3 ranked, and Champlain, #12 ranked. Had an exhibition game against NCAA Division I Merrimack College that finished in a 4-3 shootout loss. And to finish the month for Stanstead, they traveled to Rochester, New York to participate in a weekend hosted by Bishop Kearney. It resulted in an overtime win as things get loud here. And we open up second half action. Talk about conditioning as they go quickly out of action, back into action. We'll wrap up this little bit here on Stanstead's overtime win against the Pittsburgh Penguins Elite U19, #6 ranked in the USA. An overtime loss against Bishop Kearney, #5 ranked in the US. And a spirited win over the Burlington Junior Barracudas U22 team, #17 ranked. All in all, the team battled through the challenging month to a 7-3-2 record. That's the Stanstead team that is challenging the Huskies right now. It's really great to have access to the coaches and staff to get some of this background information. As this is played into the middle by St. Pierre, still, and this one is a power play goal. Huskies now out in front as St. Pierre had it out on the left side. Sent it lightly out to the low slot as it squirted around, caught in traffic, finally tucked in, and Northwood, just a minute into the second half, leading 2-1. That was right from Gillis as it was played out on the left side. That was St. Pierre. Played it back up top and then back down to St. Pierre. Tossed into the middle and it was knocked around in traffic. And Harnham just a little bit too far out of reach. Couldn't stop it. And a big break for the Huskies as they went to their second power play and capitalized. We can hear members of a mini drum corps Now, earlier we mentioned that it was Charland in the box, and we said that it was cross-checking. It wasn't cross-checking, it was body checking. So correction there. As we welcome you to the second period action. Here's an opportunity for Erster. Erster goes to the backhand. And well played by Harnum as she comes up with a big save. You don't want to fall 2 goals behind. As a tribute to retired NHL commentator Doc Emmerich, we say welcome to the second period, the period of the log change as the goaltenders trade nets, putting them and the defensive zones they guard on the opposite end of the ice from their benches. A little shoving in front of the net. This makes defensive on-the-fly substitutions difficult. Key takeaway in this period is get into the offensive zone early and often. Apply pressure to the opposing defense. See if you can fatigue them, find them flat-footed, out of position, perhaps pulling penalties. But most of all, you want to get shots on net and pucks in the bucket. Speaking of shots on goal, Northwood currently with the advantage here, 15-12. Here's a poke check steal and a shot just wide of the net. And Harnum catching a lucky break as that shot was off target. Pratt perhaps blinded by the wide open net as that was just off target. Played around to the near side. This has been a little bit chippy, as is the nature of tense matchups. Played out across neutral ice. Here's an opportunity with help coming in the middle. Nice pass. And this is sent just wide by Zhu. Backhander lifted over the cage. Played up over the top of the slot. Out to the left side, shot, and that'll be held onto by Thibault. Big stop. And folks, if it weren't for my headphones covering my ears entirely, it would be well too loud for my ears to handle. I can barely hear myself. As this is played out to the left side. Gillis pressured out to the perimeter. A little shove by LaForge. Again, they will blur the line between body checking and shoving. In these games, you want to gain any advantage, which means that you will push your play to the very edges of the rules. Now racing out across neutral ice. This is Gillis, another assistant captain for the Huskies. Played behind the net out towards the far side corner. That'll be dropped back by Wright out to the point. Rister rebounds out to the left half wall as St. Pierre is out there. St. Pierre pressing away. Kelly plays it up top, shot into traffic, deflected away, and now dropping back into defensive mode. As that's sent out to the right wing side by Aubin. Played up ahead, and here's McLean. McLean, nice little inside out move and draws the penalty. Well done, as McLean had gone inside out, wanted to go from left wing, pull in towards the slot area, and then a quick pivot back to the outside. And at that moment, the stick dragging behind draws the legs out. And McLean helps to put the Huskies back on the power play. As we see Elbrecht in the middle. Hagen's out on this line. I have a feeling that Hagen's is part of the power play squad. As we also see Erster out here. So we see McLean, Elbrecht, Hagens, and Erster, 4 forwards. And here's a mishandled play. Coming up is Zonin. Zonin goes to the left side through the 5-hole, and Zonin gives Stanstead another one. Well played as she went from the left side. Her backhand side draws it back across the front of Defoe and then drops it in through the 5-hole, and we're all tied up. And that's what's called a shorthanded goal. And if you ever heard my coverage before, one of the best ways to kill a penalty, score a shorthanded goal. Even better than that, score 2 shorthanded goals. Oh, so it was Grenon for tripping that put the Huskies on the power play. They are still on the power play for another 64 seconds, but just a mishandled puck at neutral ice generated that opportunity for Zonin. St. Pierre plays it up top. Round out towards the right wing side into traffic. That'll be grabbed by Wright. Wright has Major up top. And out to St. Pierre, back up to Major. Major with a misplay there, and now racing back. As this is Lebrecht. Lebrecht goes to the forehand, couldn't corral the puck well enough to get the shot off. Still 22 seconds in the penalty kill for Stanstead. Saucered back up ahead. And now this is Holmes dropping back on the defensive side. Few seconds left. Let's see if they can clear to the other side. As we see Erster out on the ice. Down to 12:15 remaining in the second. Played from D to D, rotated back up top. Charlotte plays it up ahead and now through the middle. Charlotte over the top of the slot. Through traffic, has it poked away. Played back up top to the left side. That's Thum sending it across. As we see LaForge out on the ice. Many of the members of this Stanstead team coming from the Canadian province of Quebec. Sharp is out of Newfoundland. They've got one out of Westport, Connecticut. That's Zhu. And then Zonin out of Montreal. Quebec, 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 allez, allez, allez. Barbosa out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. We got Mozalai out of Hungary. Thum out of Germany. And players representing Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Ontario. Played off of the glass as this comes around to the near side. Lavoie chasing it down at the blue line. That'll be held at the half wall. And this one goes up and out of play. We'll get a face-off to Thibault's left side. Played out of the corner. Working past the half wall, and the Huskies are out. This is Major. Major working her way to the left wing side, centering pass to Elbrecht. Taking a knee through the slot. Constant action here. As we see McLean skating side by side. And Shu up on the left wing side. Check that. That's Zonin out on the left wing side. Played into the point on the right side. Here's a light wrister. Soft rebound off the end wall, and there goes the harpoon. As it looks like Stringer lost his stick for a moment. And now here's Shu. Played out towards the left side, and that'll be dumped deeply by Barbosa. Shu pressed down at the end wall. Able to get it dug away. Looking for the wraparound here. Played around the horn to the left wing side from the top of the left circle. And this is Reese Lesperance. Sends it around to the near side. Sent down to the corner wall. Quick changes for both sides as we see Lesperance hopping the wall into the bench area. Laid into the middle, and Tifo paddles it away, and we've got a delayed penalty, and now it's stopped. And so one of the Huskies will sit. Those handles for the penalty box doors are real stiff. Not the easiest to handle for Sheeta, as she will sit for 2 minutes. All tied up at 2 apiece in the second. Shots on goal favoring Stanstead right now, 18-16. Played behind the net. Out to the right side, shot. Rebound covered up by Thibault. Played up top. And Zonin sends it out to the left wing side. Played all the way down to Harnham, as Elbrecht applying pressure deep in the Stanstead zone. As we see Labonte out on the ice for Stanstead. Played up on the left wing side. Stanstead gains the zone. Setting up defensively in the middle is Elbrecht down at the hashes. And so Sheeta with another 40 seconds on the tripping penalty. And so we'll get a face-off to Thibault's right side. Played behind the net as Martin sends it back. And now heavy pressure down at the end wall. Out to the right side as we see LeBreche down low in front of Thibault. Centering pass, that'll slip all the way out to the right point. As we see Thum out of Germany, played into the corner. 7:02 remaining in the second. Ashita comes out, and we go back to full strength. 5-on-5 on the ice. Played from the corner. Quick changes for Northwood. As we see Holmes at the right point. This is tossed up ahead, trying to get behind the defense. Played across to Holmes. Holmes trying to feed it into the middle where it seems safe. Here's a shot wide. As that was sent down by Lintner. Rebound. And picked up by Wright. Wright committed to Lindenwood out of New Preston, Connecticut. And so we'll set up a face-off to Harnum's left side. Harnum with 14 saves on 16 shots. As this deflection sends an opportunity, looking for the poke check, and we got a penalty upcoming. Unable to avoid it. It's one of those plays, you get a shot off, it deflects off a shin and bounces out towards the neutral zone. We've got some Huskies fans here, and down along the way we've got some Stanstead fans. Played from the half wall. Right now Stanstead on the power play with 5:34 remaining in this second period. And this is played out to neutral ice. Gillis sends it up ahead, trying to reconnect with the puck, but forced away. And Stanstead skating 4-on-4, picks one up. And now Stanstead out in front 3-2 with just over 5 minutes remaining. We saw Major go to the box for hooking on what looked like a breakaway for Stanstead. And only 7 seconds later, Lintner picked up a tripping penalty. And here's McLean. McLean out to the half wall. Played down by Griffiths, and that'll be held onto by Harnum. So we got 4-on-4. For the better part of a minute, 58 seconds remaining on the Lintner penalty, 1:09 remaining on the Major penalty, the hooking call. As this is slid back to the Northwood zone. Things quite tense at the moment. Played out to the right side as we see McLean out on the ice, and she'll come up with a loose puck here. McLean was successful earlier at going inside out while driving forward on the ice and was able to draw a tripping penalty out of those techniques. We'll check back in on our chat board. Who else is out there tuned into the live feed here? Go ahead and hit me up on the chat board. Tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players. We'll get you a shout out. And so it looks like it was Aubin from, it says Gagné here, but I believe that's Lavoie. And with assist number 2 going to Charlin. As we set up to Harnum's right side. Here's a shot off of the post. Martin out on the forward line for Northwood. As we can hear the clack-clack from Thibault down at the other end, indicating that the penitent is coming out of the box. And out comes Lintner. Just as that is held on to. And for the next 4 seconds, Stanstead will enjoy a 5-on-4. Once again, for those of you who are tuned in, if you take a look at the menu options for the broadcast, there is a stats tab. If you go into the stats, you can actually scroll down and see the play-by-play as this is taken from the corner. Played out to the left side as we're back to even strength, 5-on-5 up top as this is Grenon sent down through traffic, and that'll be held on to by Thibault. So you can see the live play-by-play in that stats tab. You can take a look at the matchup, the lineups. Take a look at the play-by-play and the box score. Really nice feature for me to be introduced to here on Olympic Center TV, aka Lake Placid TV. Played from the left point, down to the half. Centering pass into the middle. And that one goes nowhere. Played into neutral ice as Gillis wrestles possession ahead. Centering pass from the top of the slot. Here's a wrister, a little too high and wide as Wright sends it into the glass. 2.5 minutes remaining, second period action in a 3-2 game. Stanstead in the white and red leading. Once again, folks, my name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. You'll find me on the 19th most popular social media site, LinkedIn, for all of your professional queries. Here's McLean from the top of the slot, a little toe drag, trying to lift one up softly. This will be sent across neutral ice. You'll also find me in other entertaining forums. Baker's Radio on Instagram and Baker's Radio USA on YouTube. Here's a shot deflected back to the mid slot, still bouncing around through traffic. Played up top as Thum sends it down low. Thum at the right point for Stanstead. Here's a redirect opportunity. And that one goes nowhere. Griffith sends across ice as Lesperance sends it up. Played into the middle to McLean. McLean with a shot, rebound off the glove. Slid up through the crease. Here comes Major. Major will sling it around the rim with 75 seconds remaining in the second. Played around traffic. This is Erster around the right perimeter. Centering pass. Down inside the final minute of this second period. Now, originally, we announced halves, but these are not halves. These are being played in periods. Last week, we saw the same group play a couple of games where they were running roughly 17-minute periods, and one of the periods was slightly less than the other two. Then the last game that I covered for them was 2 25-minute halves. We were looking at 20-minute periods here with the brief intermission. So both of these teams have been skating for the better part of 40 minutes worth of clock time, which, as we know in sports, clock time and actual calories burned do not parallel one another. Here's a shot shouldered away by Thibault. Played out to the corner with 12 seconds left in the period. There's an opportunity perhaps to get one more shot off, but this one looks like it's going to bounce to the conclusion of this period. And it looks like we had an offsides, 3.1 seconds remaining as we're about to go to the break. All righty, well, let's take a look here. We've got the Thune family, as the buzzer sounds, watching from Germany, cheering for Stanstead. That would be a fan of number 19. And so, Christopher, welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you aboard. And I'm sure you're happy right now with where things stand at the end of this second period as Stanstead leads 3-2. As we go to the break, we'll recut the ice as everyone exits to the locker rooms. So we'll go ahead and cover a couple of items here. Once again, shout out to head coach Bernie Pym for Stanstead and assistant coach Matthew Chan, who provided me with the roster for both the varsity team and the U16 team. This has given me quite a resource to be able to deliver some of this information. We'll go ahead and get you a little bit caught up here during this longer intermission. I will take a break in a moment, but first I want to take a look at the strength of this Stanstead team as we go down through the roster. And so the Spartans have got players that are committed to various Division I schools. We'll go through the list here. These are all that are committed to schools in the U.S. We see that number 8, who's not with us right now, Tremblay, a senior out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, committed to Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin, the Badgers. As we go down the list, LaBreche, also a senior out of Varennes, Quebec, committed to Holy Cross. That's in Massachusetts. Chenier, also another Quebec skater, a junior committed to Holy Cross as well. So LaBreche and Chenier, both a pair of forwards committed to Holy Cross. And then Lavoie, a defender, senior out of Quebec, also committed to Boston College. And so she'll fly with the Eagles. And then number 14, Aubin, also out of Quebec, committed to UConn, University of Connecticut, the Huskies. As we travel down the roster, Lintner, who we've seen in quite a bit of action this evening, out of Vienna, Austria, committed to Vermont. And then down the list to Pampelon, out of Quebec as well, committed to Long Island University. She will be a Shark. And another going to Vermont, this is Charlotte. And so Lintner and Charlotte will both head to Vermont. LaForge committed to Dartmouth. Stringer committed to Bemidji State out in Minnesota. And then we've got one committed to a New York school. The goaltender, Harnum, out of Nova Scotia, has committed to Syracuse. And so a lot of activity, a lot to work on here in the present moment, building on what they have done in the past, and with some outlook in their futures there. We mentioned for Northwood School, St. Pierre committed to Colgate, will play for the Red Raiders. Elbricht, another center, she is committed to RPI. That's Rensselaer Polytechnic, so both of them heading into more Northeastern hockey. Now I know on the men's side that Colgate and RPI are members of the ECAC conference. But I am unfamiliar with the conference breakups for women's college hockey. And if we take a look down at the defense and one of the goaltenders, Griffiths is committed to, I believe it's Plattsburgh Cardinals. Correct me where I'm wrong, please. And then Wright is committed to Lindenwood, and goaltender Tifo committed to RIT, Rochester. And so let's go ahead and get myself a little bit of a breather, a little stretch, get warmed up, maybe grab a quick meal. A very quick meal, and then we'll continue with the action. From alongside the 1932 rink in Lake Placid, New York, you're watching JWHL hockey. Northwood School hosting Stanstead College. Stanstead leading 3-2. When we return, baking tips with Martha. You're watching Olympic Center TV. We'll be right back. know what that sound means, folks? The loud thunder telling us it's time to get back to the action as we are on a fresh sheet for the final 20-minute stanza. As we welcome you all back to the Jack Shea Arena in Lake Placid, New York, all part of this Junior Women's Hockey League competition. And it looks like this was a non-penalized high sticking that sent it back into the Stanstead zone. And there's a shot. Kelly with a wrister to the top shelf, hits the nylons, and we're tied up just 20 seconds in. And I may have described that as a non-penalized high stick, but by virtue of flipping the ice and putting the Huskies in the attacking zone, it built that situation. And what a big play as we welcome the Ersters and the Thum family back to the broadcast. Just 20 seconds in, and Kelly from St. Pierre. And we're all tied up at 3 apiece. Once again, folks, for those of you joining in late, my name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. I will be here throughout the weekend covering more of the Northwood girls team as well as the boys Huskies. Played from the right side. Played out to neutral ice. Now perhaps I can get a little bit of feedback from either Ryan or Christopher out there on the audio. I want to make sure that we're not getting a hot signal, any distortion. If you hear any distortion, please let me know. Here's an opportunity, shot deflected. I have been challenged to speak a little bit more loudly so I can hear myself, as we've got a drum corps that has been pretty, what's the word? Incessant. Incessant would be the word, non-stopping. And so we resume the action out of the Northwood zone, and now this is Erster. Erster working to the inside, plays that off the end wall. And now Kaitis sends it out to the right wing side. That's Ju, and now Kaitis in the low slot. Played to the right wing corner. That's Monette. Played up past the point. Looking to recompose as Gillis has sent it deep. And now chasing to the end wall. Battling alongside Sharp. Double check that. And this one pops up and out of play. Yes, indeed, that is Sharp. So we set up a face-off to Harnum's left side. Perry Lesperance up at the right point, sending it down low. That sounded like it came off of the post. As we see out on the left side, Major Played cross ice. And here's Gillis. Misconnection there, and this is an opportunity to the backhand, and that is the go-ahead. And Stanstead, the Spartans, now up 4-3. For those of you who are tuned in, there is a live play-by-play feed in case you want to follow to see the scoring combinations. That one credited to Papillon. Which we mentioned is headed down to Long Island University. Their athletics programs throughout, men's and women's athletics really strengthening up. For a moment, they were barely on anyone's radar, and then recently, I believe their football team jumped up into Division I play, and that was a big development down there. I don't want to give you the impression that I know everything that's happening out in college sports world. That just happens to be one that's on my radar as I grew up on Long Island. And so I usually have an eye and an ear dedicated to things that are happening down there. As this is played up on the left side, that's Lintner. Played up on the left wing side, into the middle, shot deflected up into the glass. Parnham with another save. It's 27 shots for the Northwood, 29 for Stanstead, as the Spartans lead the Huskies 4-3. Heavy pressure by Reese L'Esperance, looking to take possession once again, trying to get in for the steal. And now testing the conditioning as the Huskies trying to hem in the Spartans. Played out to the weak side wing, out on the right side with one in the middle. That was Stringer working through the mid slot. Picked up by Pratt as that drops back into the Husky zone. This is Wright. Played back to the corner. Ice conditions pretty decent here after the freshly cut ice. As we're 5.5 minutes into this third period. Full 20-minute periods here. They're going the distance. Cross ice pass. This is sent deep by Thum and held on to by Thibault. Who else do we have on the broadcast? We've got the Ersters down in Whitestone. I think you're familiar with LIU. Now Stanstead with possession. This is Chenier. That is the Holy Cross commit. Played up top from point to point out to the back door from the left wing side. Played down low, kick save. Stanstead getting their shot opportunities. Racing down, this is Monette. Trailing Thum. Here's Thum up on the right wing side. and that one goes too far without any touches. We'll get an icing. That may be only the third icing in this game, as that puck is often escorted up and down the ice under very close supervision from either side. Quick tag up as St. Pierre goes down, chasing around. Harnham had come out of the net to swing that around the corner wall, helping to avoid the pressure. St. Pierre down in the corner, and this is carried out. Aubin from the left side, feeding the middle, and that'll fall into the possession of St. Pierre, as St. Pierre has to work past Aubin. Played back to St. Pierre, able to gain control after Charlin got a stick on it. Played out on the left side, around the rim, from behind the net. Fresh skates coming on for the Huskies. Played up to the point. Wrister, soft wrister, and that one's gloved. A little bit of shoving out in front of the net. You see Wright getting an opportunity out there. That last Stanstead goal, courtesy of Charlotte from Pampelon. And now an opportunity for Lebrecht. Lebrecht racing up ahead from the left side, couldn't get it off. This is Wright. Tick back away, and this will be chipped to neutral ice, as we see Sharp out on the ice for the Spartans. Played up on the left side. McLean dumps it deeply, as we see Hagens chasing it to the right corner. Played back out left past Major. Major with Griffiths alongside. And this one's popped up and out of play. Could have been a souvenir. Not anymore. Played from the red stripe as we're just outside of 11 minutes remaining in regulation. Played into neutral ice. This is L'Esperance. That is the Reese variety, as she takes it out to the right wing side. Some help falling in at the points, as we see Combe. We got a high stick here. Again, not the penalty variety, but if you remember, 20 seconds into the third period, something like this shaped up, where there was a high stick and then contact to the puck immediately after the high stick, which sent it down to the Stanstead zone. And just 20 seconds into the third period, the Huskies were able to get one in. And a shout out to those who are having a late Friday night in Germany. As we just looked up, local time seems to be just ahead of the 1 a.m. hour. As we take a look at the local time here, it's 6:49 p.m. local. Presentation of this Junior Women's Hockey League matchup between the Stanstead Spartans in white and red And the hometown Northwood Huskies in blue with the pink out numbers. We got a slashing penalty here, which is going to put the Huskies on the power play. As we see Charlotte goes to the box. The Huskies have been ramping up the pressure. Played over the top to Major, back up to Major. Major looking for options, goes right. And on the right side is right. This one is pinned between the leg pads of Harnum. So we set up a face-off to Harnum's right side. Played to right and back up top to Major. Major down to the side doorstep, and that one couldn't have been drawn up any more beautifully. Major to right, back to Major, down low to the left wing side, and deposited in the net as the Huskies tie it up. We're all square at 4 apiece. I believe that's Kelly on the back door. The accuracy on the passing there, critically important in converting that power play goal. Barton retrieving. As we see Kitus out on the ice from the left side. As she tries to get a shot out, Thibault paddles it away. Played back up towards the top as we see Labonte dropping back. She gets a stick on it. Played inside by Elbrecht. As we see Griffiths up on the right side. Barton on the left side up by the blue line. Played from McLean. McLean up to Barton and back down low. So that was Kelly from St. Pierre. Out on the right side, blockered up over the cage. Close call there as Thibault had dropped down to the butterfly, and want to make a quick correction here, as I may have been saying Thibault just by conditioning. It's Thibault. And so we'll take a look at that combo there. And so that was, yes, Kelly from Major and right. That is an update there. The announcement there was Kelly from St. Pierre, but the correct combo there was Kelly from Major up top after Wright had sent it from right side up top middle to Major. Major well above the slot, sent it down to the side doorstep, and Kelly converted. Now a takeaway. Sent up ahead by Monette. Played on the near side, and there's a backhander as Erster got a little touch on it. It trickled out in front, and Monette standing in front, able to close that one, and Northwood back out in front. Huge break here for the Huskies as they have started to tilt the ice here. Monette from Erster and Martin. Played out of the corner. That's sent around And that'll go down for icing. As we see LaForge, Stringer, Zonin, Barbosa, and Thum out on the ice. .7:30 remaining in the third, and Northwood pulls out in front. And we'll see who's fresh enough to finish the job here. As that pops up, and Zonin sends it out to the right wing side. From the left side, shot, glove down, rebound out in front, and now racing up ahead from the left wing side. Wrister through traffic as that gets hung up on a skate. As we see Combe dropping back. Combe protecting the gaps. That was McLean carrying it up earlier in the sequence, and now McLean will go to the box. Want to give a shout out to Chad Cassidy and Bethany Valenzi on the front office side of things, as well as my back end engineers checking in on audio and all of the rest of the feed, and those that have been updating this website as this bounces back out in front of Defoe and wide of the net. Close call here. As Stanstead now on the power play. What they have done with this website is really quite a help. Some very knowledgeable fans on the Stanstead side, right down the row from me, looking for a call for the face-off. As that went out of play, looking for it to go back into the Husky zone, and it did. Played over the top of the slot, as we see Elbrecht set up in the middle. Here's a wrister through traffic. Little shove from behind. His right clogged up a little bit of that shooting lane. Right gave Pampelon a bit of a shove. And here's a shot from the right side. And we're tied back up. A power play goal for Stanstead. And this indeed is a barn burner. So McLean went to the box for cross-checking towards the tail end of the power play. The Spartans from the right wing side able to convert. Played back into the Stanstead zone. That combo there, courtesy of Aubin from Lavoie and Labonte. So with 5 minutes remaining in regulation, we're all tied up at 5 apiece. Played around to the near side. Sent out to neutral ice as St. Pierre pressures. Played by Defoe. Here's Griffiths Avoiding the poke check, gets it out towards Kelly. Played out of the corner. That's Martin battling down low. This is Kaitis. Played up top. And Sharp unable to hold it in the zone. Here comes Martin. Martin pressuring. Northwood looking for the turnover here. Racing back is Wright. Set up on the left wing side is Monette. Played back up top. This is LaForge. As she sends it across to Labonte. You got to play this one all the way through the final minutes here. Every bit of energy and effort, focus and execution required here. Played by Barton. Barton sends it into the Stanstead zone. And that'll go down for icing. 3 minutes flat remaining in the third. Shots on goal, Spartans 38, Huskies 31. And the score on the board, 5-5. Off of the face-off, McLean sends it out to Barton. And now here comes Stanstead. Barton racing back, covering Charlon. Played into the corner. Sent off the wall to Hagans and then out to neutral ice. This will get caught up in the skates as Hagans carries it into the offensive zone. Now working around is Aubin. Out on the right side. Dropping that one off to Charlon. 2:22 remaining as this one is covered by Defoe. Once again, Defoe committed to RIT. Off of the face-off, here comes the Huskies. Play deeply in the offensive zone, Gillis chases. As we see Mozalai sending it up across the front line, but deflected away. Nice little short shuttle pass to St. Pierre. That'll be chased down by Kelly. Kelly in the corner on the right wing side. Played back towards Wright, and this one shaping up a 2-on-1. Played out to the right wing side into the middle. And the Huskies exposed as the 2-on-1 shapes up into 3 attackers. And trailing in the middle, Lintner. As they went left wing to right wing and back into the middle, Defoe had to split the difference, went down. And now Spartans up 6-5. And a quick timeout for the Huskies. With 1:42 remaining, third period action. Stanstead leading 6-5, just as they had suffered a goal against by Northwood, which had tied it up at 5 apiece. But that execution right there, this one came up from LaBreche on the left side. She went out to the right wing side, had one trailing in the middle in Lintner. And Lintner catching Defoe as Defoe was sweeping out the legs to go down low. Just could not predict what Lintner was going to do and Lintner from Labreche and Mozalai. And with 102 seconds remaining, Northwood looking for the equalizer. Spartans looking to play this one out. Played from behind the net. 90 seconds left. Picked up by Hagens. Hagens working into the middle, waiting for the tag up. I don't know about that. I think McLean got her skate onto the blue line before Hagens went over. But that'll be called offsides. We'll get a neutral zone face-off just outside the Spartan zone on the far side dot. This is a series you want to see more of. And now down to 70 seconds left. If that one is sent in hard. Empty net right now, 6-on-5 as this is pulled out to neutral ice, and they'll need a quick tag up with 58 seconds remaining. Played through the middle. And this is sent into the basket, and that should close things up. As the long-range sharpshooter Barbosa sends that the length of the ice just over the center stripe into the basket. And Stanstead now up 7-5 with 49.6. Some may say all but over. A lot can be coordinated in 49.6. The Huskies will need to put something in the basket quickly if there's any chance of trying to set up the 6-on-5 again. In the middle, that's L'Esperance. Played up ahead by Wright. Played around the corner board. Sent down by Major. Rolling through the middle. With 35 seconds remaining. Cutting out towards the right side is Aubin. Sent around the rim, 28 seconds left. Papillon out of the corner. And now here's Major with possession. Looking to split the D as this is picked up by Sheeta. And now taken away with 13 seconds left. And the Spartans outlasting the Huskies. It's been back and forth, blow by blow. And the Stanstead Spartans take the victory after being pushed to the brink by the Huskies. And now both of these teams battle-tested and ready to move on. So the Spartans pick up the victory. And celebrating with their goaltender. Two teams already in this tournament notching a pair of victories, including Mount Academy and Naha White. As both teams gather at the center stripe to exchange goodwill on the handshake line, we say good game, good game. Oh yes indeed, what a heck of a game. Safe travels, good meals, and good luck. What a great day to be a hockey player. What a great day to play hockey. As we take a look through this 19U grouping, Mount Academy atop the list with 6 points in the standings, 2-0 so far in this tournament. Naha White 2-0 as well. Right behind them at 1-1, Washington Pride, the 19U group. And right behind them with a single win, Rothsay Netherwood. Stanstead will jump up with 1-0. Northwood goes to 0-1. And the teams trailing the bunch. Philadelphia Junior Flyers 0-2, followed by the Pacific Steelers 0-2. As both teams head out, we'll prepare the ice sheet for our next matchup. As we take a look at another Northwood school game coming up. I want to say thanks to the Erster family for joining in. I also want to thank Christopher and the Thum family for joining in. Good to see audience members from both sides. Coming up next on Olympic Center TV, Upper Canada College Prep versus Northwood School Prep, scheduled for 7:30. We'll have that puck dropping in no time. From alongside the 1932 rink in Lake Placid, New York, Glenn Burnett with your play-by-play and color commentary. You're watching JWHL games and Northwood Huskies games on Olympic Center TV. We'll see you on the next one.